Guangxi education director allegedly spread AIDS to hundreds of female teachers. Jiangsu Art Education Institution. Bankruptcy. Teachers and parents of students face difficulties in recovering money. On November 14th, the news that the director of the Education Bureau of Beiliu City, Guangxi Province, was found to have AIDS after being arrested, and that female teachers in many places in the city were examined, was widely circulated online. The official media of the Communist Party of China refuted the rumor overnight and blocked the news. According to a report by Doot News, on the evening of November 14th, there was a rumor that the director of the Education Bureau of Beiliu City, Guangxi Province, Gumomu, was arrested for suspected drunk driving. He was allegedly infected with AIDS and affected many female teachers, which attracted the attention of netizens. WeChat chat records circulating online show that the director of the Education Bureau of Beiliu City, Guangxi Province, was arrested for suspected drunk driving. He also allegedly had sex with many women, causing many people to be infected with AIDS. In addition, there are many screenshots circulating online that mention the director was also investigated for 8-digit corruption and buying officials. The reporter noticed that in the above chat records, a netizen named Wen, who posted the message, included a reference to a certain building material company in Yulin City in his WeChat name. The Chichacha app shows that Wen Mao is the legal representative of the company. The reporter called the company's 2 contact numbers, one of which could not be reached, and the other was answered by a man. When asked about Wen's identity and online comments, the individual said he did not know the relevant situation. As for how to contact Wen, he stated that there was no way and suggested the reporter find someone else. Later, the reporter attempted to verify the situation with the Beiliu Municipal Education Bureau. The staff responded that they were not very clear about the situation of the director rumored online and had not heard of the news of his arrest. They added that although they worked in the same building as the director, the bureau had many people, and it was unclear whether the director was at work that day. As for whether the director was arrested, the staff of the Beiliu Municipal Public Security Bureau said they were unclear and refused to be interviewed, citing their inability to verify the reporter's identity before immediately hanging up the phone. At present, it remains unverified whether Beiliu Municipal Education Bureau Director Gu was arrested. Public information shows that his last appearance in official reports was on August 22nd, when he presided over a meeting on the start of the fall semester. Many young female teachers in the city were hiddenly controlled. A netizen broke the news that Gu had been arrested more than a month ago after having a meal with him. It is said that after Gu was arrested, he was examined and found to have AIDS. Dozens of young female teachers in the city were hiddenly controlled by him, and some reports suggest hundreds. Since last week, many schools in the city have reportedly begun conducting physical examinations to screen for AIDS. One report claimed that a 26-year-old female teacher at No. 1 Junior High School in Middletown was diagnosed with AIDS. The husband of a female teacher at Chengxi Junior High School was also diagnosed with AIDS. After being forced to undergo a checkup, his wife was found to be infected as well. She finally admitted that she was infected by Guo. On the evening of the 14th, the WeChat public account, Guangxi Internet Illegal and Bad Information Report, released a rumor-refuting message, stating that, after verification with relevant departments, the online information such as the director of the Beiliu Education Bureau was drunk driving and had AIDS was false. At the same time, the relevant news was suspected to have been blocked across the entire network, leaving only the official rumor-refuting information. Under a rumor-refuting video on Douyin, one netizen left a comment. The traffic has been cut off all of a sudden. Another person asked, "Is it true or not?" Someone replied, "Because it caused panic. No matter how true it is false." Some netizens also questioned the official statement. If it is a rumor, won't the rumor maker be summoned? Jiangsu Art Education Institution. Bankruptcy. Teachers and parents of students face difficulties in recovering money. Recently, the bankruptcy of Baya Art Education Center, Xi'an Culture and Art Kopang Lutterdi, referred to as Baya, in Suzhou City, Jiangsu Province, has caused a sensation. Teachers and parents are still trying to recover money, but the company has been taken over by another entity. The company was established in 2010 with a registered capital of 500,000 yuan. The legal representative is Wang Daomen. On October 25th, Wang Daomen and his wife posted a video on their Douyin account, Baya Wang Xiaochang, which caused an uproar. They knelt in front of the sign of Baya Art Education Center, announced the institution's bankruptcy in tears, and promised never to run away. The video has been deleted, but their Douyin account states, "Baya is down. We are bankrupt. 14 years of hard work still can't beat the environment, but we didn't run away. We will face it positively." The video triggered rights protection actions by Baya's teachers and parents of students. Since October 26th, Baya Education Center has attracted a large number of parents from across the country, peaking on the 27th. The authorities mobilized police to suppress the protests. On November 8th, the company was taken over by a new organization, Xi'an Innovation Technology, referred to as Xi'an. However, the demands of parents and teachers remain unresolved. Regarding the video of the boss announcing bankruptcy, Fang Ming, pseudonym, a teacher working at Baya, told the Epoch Times reporter, "It's a pity." He said that the night before the boss announced bankruptcy, the company's senior executives held a meeting and, after the meeting, divided assets without notifying any teachers or students' parents. While the boss declared bankruptcy, it remains a verbal statement with no legal procedures initiated. He is not fleeing now, which Fang Ming interprets as, "I have no money. What can you do to me?" According to Fang Ming, more than 10 days before the bankruptcy announcement, Wang Daomen moved his children, father-in-law, and mother-in-law elsewhere. No one knows where they went, and his children are no longer attending school locally. The teachers believe the boss has money and took it with him. Reports suggest Wang Daomen owns 6 villas and several luxury cars. Fang Ming once considered calling the police but was stopped by the company's senior management. He added, "The key is that in October, he, Wang Daomen, knew he was going bankrupt, but still asked parents to continue paying fees. He launched several projects, urging parents to pay for classes and organized a series of activities such as sketching to collect another wave of money. In the end, after going bankrupt, he still asked us, teachers, to teach." Fang Ming stated that the institution had owed wages for 3 months, and he was owed nearly 40,000 yuan. The institution has more than 60 teachers, with over 1 million yuan in unpaid wages, more than 1,500 students, and over 4 million yuan in unpaid tuition fees. He estimated the boss's debt could amount to tens of millions of yuan. "I am unemployed now, and I have to defend my rights. The rent is about to expire, and I can't even speak now," Fang Ming said helplessly. Teachers decided to pursue labor arbitration, while parents decided to hire lawyers for legal procedures. On November 8th, Xi'an Company sent an open letter to Baya students' parents, stating that Xi'an had taken over Baya's operations. However, since Xi'an did not receive any fees paid by Baya's original students, they were not responsible for any refunds. Only the actual paid amount for regular courses would be transferred, while the free portion would be invalidated. All students were required to complete class cancellations before February 5th of the following year. The company also announced that all original Baya membership fee packages would be canceled and unified per government requirements. A teacher who wished to remain anonymous told the Epoch Times reporter that although a new institution had taken over and some classes resumed, teachers' salaries and parents' tuition fees remained unresolved. The new company only took over operations, cutting off responsibility for the original company's debt. A parent also noted that while some parents requested tuition refunds, the process felt very difficult, and some parents had already let their children continue attending classes. Crisis is coming. Chinese factories face continuous bankruptcies and closures. In recent years, we have heard voices saying, "The factories are in trouble," and "The factories are going to fail." The phenomenon of factories going bankrupt and closing down is happening in many places in the mainland. As consumers, we can sense the intense low-price competition among e-commerce platforms. What kind of situation are factories, as the front line of production, facing now? In August and September of this year, we visited dozens of source factories in Zhuji, Zhejiang, and Yishui, Shandong. These two places, one in the south and one in the north, are both among China's top 100 counties. Their most prominent local industries are two highly representative light industries, the traditional textile industry and the food processing industry. For example, manufacturers in Jiangsu and Zhejiang were usually affected by e-commerce earlier, leading them to enter e-commerce first and then open factories. Meanwhile, Shandong entered e-commerce later, and for them, entering e-commerce was more of a reluctant move. The common point is that both Zhuji and Yishui have been impacted by the low-price era, making them microcosms of Chinese factories' struggles for survival. For factory owners, the factory is their lifeline. At a food factory in Yishui, a boss said, "Running a business means investing your whole life. It's like swimming in the water. When the water rises, you're betting your life. Once you fail, you lose everything, and no one will cover for you." The factory can't afford to turn on the air conditioning. Driving through the streets of Zhuji, Zhejiang, we saw shuttered shopfronts and empty streets under the sweltering August sun. Under the subtropical high-pressure belt, the outdoor temperature reached nearly 40 degrees Celsius. Yet, when the factory door opened, a wave of stifling air hit us. This sock factory is located in a building, with each floor housing an independent factory. Climbing the external staircase, the steel structure creaked with each step as if about to collapse. Ducking through a small doorway, we entered a 500-square-meter space on the third floor, packed with spinning machines, 14 machines per group, a total of 5 groups, or 70 machines in all, with a warehouse and the boss's office squeezed in. Typically, 5 people would operate the spinning machines, but now only 1 worker remains. Most of the machines have stopped. The lone worker, shirtless and sweating, wore headphones around his neck, though nothing was playing in them, likely to block out the machine's rumbling noise. This sock factory doesn't use air conditioning because it can't afford to. The cooler temperature affects sock shaping, but financially, it's also unviable. Guangxi, the factory owner, explained, "I can earn at most 30 yuan, and at least 15 yuan per machine daily. With 30 machines running, that's less than 500 yuan. The electricity bill for air conditioning in this large space would exceed 300 yuan daily, so I don't dare turn it on." Huang Xiong told us that demand for autumn socks usually rises after mid-August, but this year, the factory has been in a semi-shutdown for nearly a month and a half. Zhuji is a county-level city under Shaoxing's jurisdiction, with a well-developed sock industry. If you go to the wrong building, you'll still find sock manufacturers, locals say. Zhuji produces 25 billion pairs of socks annually, accounting for 70% of the national market, with 1/3 of the world's socks coming from here. But this year, nearly every factory is clearing out inventory, and no owner dares to stock up. Some have hundreds of thousands, or even millions of pairs of socks in storage. In past years, they could sell 1,000 to 2,000 orders daily. But in recent years, even 1,000 would be a good day. New styles are increasingly difficult to sell. Before, 5 or 6 out of 10 styles would sell. Now, it's just 1 or 2, with the rest unsold. Profits are thinning. According to Sock War, the growth history of the Tang Dynasty, Sock Industry, published in 2008, the gross profit on a pair of socks was about 1.2 yuan. Today, earning 5 cents is considered a big profit. High-end socks, which once offered around 10% profit, now yield only 2 to 3%, or even less than 1%. Huang Xiong is not an isolated case. We heard similar stories across the industrial belts we visited in Zhejiang and Shandong. This year is like falling off a cliff, said the owner of a food factory in Yishui, Shandong. Previously, factories operated 27 to 28 days a month, sometimes with night shifts, but now they often run only 7 to 8 days. There seems to be only one solution. You can only cut costs from every angle, one boss explained. Costs of labor, utilities, raw materials, and operations must all be reduced.